welcome. You are listening to episode 90 of the Nearly Men Video Games Podcast, coming to you live on Twitch from Scotland on Thursday, 24th of June 2021. I am Colin Little, and joining me today is Paul Kaczynski.
Ahoy, ahoy!
And together with the absent Blunderboy87, we are the Nearly Men. And this episode of the podcast is brought to you by executive producer Hamster Boy. Now, we have nothing to do with the video games industry. We don't make them, we don't sell them, we're not even particularly good at them. We are the Nearly Men, and at some point you have probably kicked our asses online.
How you doing, Colin?
There we are. That was so good. We sort of did that twice. I mean,
Do you
podcast listeners won't hear that, but for that went a wee bit awry.
I thought you were better the first time. Just what
I know. It was my greatest performance. I'm absolutely devastated.
It was lightning in a bottle. That one.
I was devastated. That's it. Vanished to the ether. Gone to the Windows Update gods.
God damn you, Windows Update! Why is it every time? Why is it every time?
They're
but
absolutely hopeless.
They're announcing Windows 11 on Thursday. Today, actually. Well, in fact, it's probably announced. It was 8 PM, I think. So 8 AM, sorry. So I don't even know. Really, as a kind of video games computer type podcast, we should probably be on the ball with that. But
I mean, we should be on the ball about lots of stuff, including E3 that we're going to discuss later on. And actually, just beforehand, Paolo and I actually said I didn't actually see that much of it.
Was it working, mate?
So that's going to be interesting. Yeah. Actually, I'm going to break. We don't normally chat to the chat, but I've just seen Subtle saying I don't want a goddamn weather forecast taken up. I have my taskbar, and that is exactly right. I need to know how to turn that off because it's playing havoc with streaming. That's where my Twitch chat streams, and it sits in the stream. And if my mouse cursor even lies there for a second, I suddenly get this massive pop-up about the article in some Yahoo News pish or something.
Yahoo News.
It's not good, man.
Welcome back, 2002.
So not Yahoo, who is it? I mean, it's near enough, not Yahoo.
Well, surely it's your Bing. It must be Bing, surely.
What's the difference between Bing and bloody Yahoo?
Well, one's Microsoft and one's Yahoo, Yahoo.
Yes, and it's just all the worst. No, actually, it's like some sort of top stories and all that. Manage interests. I don't want to see this fish. Right, never mind. Right.
Welcome to episode 90, where Colin fixes his computer.
This is not something that we really have to worry about right now. I'll deal with it later. Paolo, how you doing?
I'm well, sir. Thank you very much. I'm good. We're big today. We get half a screen each.
Yes, look at this.
A little roomy.
The old days, mate.
Aye. It's like moving back into a tenement.
It's not really like the old days, really, because in the old days it was just me and you in a cramped little table. Just any nook or cranny we could find, and there was nobody watching or listening to us. So it's a bit different now. There's definitely some people watching us, and definitely some people listening to us.
Don't get my scent though.
No, I don't get your musk. I don't. But you know,
silver linings.
It'll be nice someday when I can go. What is that? Oh, hi, Paolo. That'd be lovely. That'd be lovely.
Brutal.
Right click your taskbar, go to news and interests, turn it off.
There you go, podcast listeners.
Is it manage interest? Oh, Jesus. Right, hold on.
It's not the time.
This is not the time to do this.
Not the time.
I'll do it later. It's really working. I brought up everything. It's like I just got a whole full screen thing where it got me like click on various things. It's like, this is really not the time.
Dear me.
Anyway, there's not a lot of news, but we actually have an awful lot to talk about. We've been playing lots of games. The listeners have been playing lots of games, and in fact, some of them have been in touch. If you would like to get in touch and let us know what you've been playing for our next episode, then here is how you do it.
Reaching the Nearly Men is easier than ever. Search for the Nearly Men Video Games podcast on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or your preferred podcast player. We stream on Twitch. Follow Colin at Colin_NM. Follow Paul at Paul Kaczynski, all one word. Follow Gary at Blunderboy87. And let's get social on Facebook as The Nearly Men, Twitter and Instagram where we are at Nearly Men, or go old school and email us on info@thenearlymen.com. Need all that again? Links are on our website, thenearlymen.com. So what are you waiting for?
Yes. So what are you waiting for? So Paolo, there has been a lot happening. There's not a lot happening right now, but yeah, E3
I think it's selfish of E3 to essentially start mere hours after our last episode. They know we're a fortnightly podcast.
They're at it. They're absolutely at it.
Do you know what I mean? So
Listen, they're annoyed because, we have a bit of a history of being more PlayStation than Xbox, right? And, we sort of lost interest, like pretty much everybody did with E3 once Sony left. And, they're in a big huff about it. They're still in a huff about it. They obviously haven't been paying attention to the fact that, Paolo's near enough becoming, the wee Maverick's become a Game Pass widow now, let's be honest. I mean, I was sort of expecting you to sort of jump in there for a second there, Paolo, as I took a drink. You didn't. So.
I was waiting. Well, you nearly took a drink about 6 times, so I was on the ball, but then you changed the subject. We're very tired.
We're not in sync today at all. We're running on empty.
Aye. I've got run ragged all day. He's been working all day. We shouldn't be here, man. Blunderboy's out getting steaming.
Aye, Blunderboy's on the Randan. We should have said that. It's the last day of term. Blunderboy's out on the Randan. I got home from work, honestly, about an hour ago. I had to have my dinner and all that, and I haven't really managed to catch up with anything. But talking about things to catch up, we of course had E3. Paolo, what was your overriding impressions of E3 this year?
Do you know, it's interesting because obviously E3 last year was pretty much written off. I think there was some sort of digital feel to it, but it was all very patchy, and it was very much. I think it wasn't so much as E3 doing it. It was, Ubisoft saying, "Oh well, there's no E3, so we're going to do a wee digital presentation here and whatever." Whereas this year it was back to being a big show, as it were, albeit distance and virtual and all that jazz. Mm-hmm. So it's weird having the year off. I think has done it a real favour, because I think, as you say, people were a bit bored with it, and everybody who was worth their salt were doing their own shows. So Sony were doing their own shows, and everybody else, basically every developer essentially had some sort of show, and it seems now to be leaning more to Gamescom being a bigger deal. But I think having the year off, really refreshed E3, and I think whoever it is that's leading it, it's no Jeff Keighley, is it? It's not him. He's his own thing, isn't it? He doesn't do E3 now.
Was he not the guy this year, Jeff Keighley?
But he's not doing E3. He was the Game Awards, his own show.
He did his game.
I think he used to do E3, and then he separated from it, but was still part of it as his own self. Right, but it was still a big deal, and he also gets loads of exclusive as well known and all that. But then I think there was the actual E3 show with Greg Miller and all that. I think, but I think it refreshed it. Of course,
Greg Miller was doing it. That's right.
And I think it refreshed it a wee bit, and maybe gave the organisers of E3 a wee bit of a boot up the bum, and just to kind of think, how can we do this differently? And the world's changing. Not everybody needs to go into an office anymore. Not everyone needs to be there and then. So I think that's affected it in a way. Yeah. For the good and the bad. I think having a big show with loads of people is great fun. But I don't think it's necessary now. So and to answer your question, I think it meant that the showings were very streamlined because they were going to be digital. They were very well thought out and very well placed, and there was a couple of better shows. I didn't see the Xbox show. I was snug in the cinema, which was nice. And But I watched bits of it later on, and everybody that I know who are Xbox fans were saying it was a belter of a show. And they're dropping 30 games, 27 of which are on Game Pass. Do you know what I mean? So they're ticking boxes that people want to hear, which is really nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Summer Game Fest is what Evil Monkey
Summer
said.
Game Fest, thank you. That's the one.
That was playing on my mind. Couldn't remember what it was called.
That's Uncle Jeff.
Game something.
You ever noticed Jeff Keighley's shoes?
He's always got sort of fancy, like, are they Jordans or?
They're some wee high toppy things, aren't they?
I think they're Jordans. I'm sure they're Jordans of some
Loves
form.
them though. They're always flamboyant. I think, if memory serves, he's wearing red ones this year. He was wearing blue ones last year. I remember that.
They were quite cool, I must say. They were quite.
He
cool.
likes his shoes. He likes his shoes. So things, I think he kind of, I mean, he must be pals with everybody because he gets the interesting ones. I think he gets the interesting scoops, unless it's a big developer who's keeping it for themselves. So he was dropping things like Death Stranding Director's Cut, which looked interesting. With their great wee trailer. Don't know if you saw that. It was Norman Reedus with a cardboard box.
Yeah, and essentially it was a sort of Metal Gear Solid homage to Metal Gear Solid in the Death Stranding universe and engine and all that sort of stuff. I thought it was quite cool. Probably a bit self-indulgent, but
Oh yes.
but let's be honest, Hideo Kojima, that's his sort of wheelhouse, and,
exactly.
And everybody laps it up.
Do we really need director's cut? I don't think we do, but it's something. You know what I mean?
One thing, given how bonkers that game is, it really makes me wonder what was cut in the original cut to mean this is the director's cut.
So there was good things. It was good things. I mean, there was nothing. Well, there was. I'm not going to steal the thunder because I think you'll talk about this later anyway. But I remember Jabrais was saying what he wanted from E3 was something that was, you can go home today and play it and all that. We didn't quite get that, but Sea of Thieves dropped a belter.
Yes.
An absolute belter with this Pirates of the Caribbean connection. And it was, you can play this in a fortnight.
Well, when they dropped it, so Rare did a really great thing where for me, that's the announcement. That was the moment of E3 for me. We all know, and we will talk about it a lot more later on, but Sea of Thieves is just literally my favourite game at the moment. I absolutely love it, and it was just so awesome to hear this thing. First of all, it was free when they could have easily whacked a price tag on that, and folk would have lapped it up. The fact that Disney are involved, it's licensed from Disney, it would have almost certainly made you think right away that there's going to be a price tag on this.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And then for them, it wasn't like this is coming fall 2021 or something like that. It's literally like June 22nd, and we're like, that's next week or whatever it was. It was, that was so special. And now I know you didn't know exactly how to feel about the Pirates of the Caribbean thing when you first saw it.
I was coming and going, as I said in your stream. It's one of my favourite things about the Sea of Thieves is it's its own thing, and it's very detached from any other IP. But if it's going to do anything, I think that's the thing to do. But I was excited for it, but in the same breath, I thought the purity of Sea of Thieves has been dropped a wee bit. But
whereas I sort of I was completely separate from, or completely different from that. I was like, oh my goodness, this is the perfect fit. I'm so down for this. We will talk about it later on about exactly how we feel now, but I was so excited about it. I thought the trailer was excellent, and it had the absolute moment, and I cannot believe they were able to keep it quiet.
I cannot, but it's phenomenal.
I cannot believe that, the Sea of Thieves insiders, the partners, all these people who usually, we've got ourselves, have a few contacts now. One major contact, Sea of Thieves contact, who's in the chat right now, who usually gives us sort of, he's usually the one that will let us know if we've got something to, or if we ever have a question about Sea of Thieves, or do you think they'll ever do this? Do you think that? And we'll be told, oh, well, people have spoken about this in the past. It might happen. It might, and they're certainly better connected than we are. And as far as I'm aware, literally nobody saw it coming. Nobody saw it coming. It was an incredible secret keeping from Rare, and I just was very surprised. And it was that moment, as you said, it was literally just, this is coming out next week and it's free.
Yeah,
Amazing. Amazing.
That's I say it every year. That's what I want from E3. I want big announcements at E3. I want, a surprise big announcement, and that's exactly what that is. But I'm trying to think, who was it that did it? Was it? Oh gosh, I wish I could remember. But announcing games which you have no idea are coming, and then saying it's 6 months down the line, it's coming out this year, and I can't remember. There was one recent that was announced at E3, and it came out in like November or something. A big game, and I love that. I'm not a fan of we're going to do, I don't know, for talking's sake, Painkiller. We're going to do another Painkiller game, and we'll be seeing it 2025. You know what I mean? I don't want to know about that yet. I want to know about what's coming now, and I want you to drop one on me.
Yeah, I think I think a lot of games suffer when they've got months and months and months of years and years of development. I mean, you look at Cyberpunk, you look at the disappointment of Cyberpunk. If they hadn't bloody told people about Cyberpunk, and then they had just waited until it was bloody ready, and then said it's out in 3 months or it's out in 6 months, then boom, it could have been incredible. But no, it was a disaster. I see it's now on the PlayStation Store with the proviso of it still doesn't really work on PlayStation, so don't buy it for that.
I mean, I get why games have to have 3 years of an announcement for marketing and all that. I get it. We're in the entertainment industry. We understand that's how that works. But with something like
I don't know if something like CD Projekt Red's next game needs that.
Well,
I understand why The Witcher did, but
exactly.
Like Grand Theft Auto.
I was just about to say, if they announced Grand Theft Auto 6 today and it's coming out tomorrow, they would probably have more sales than if they announced it for a year away. Do you know what I mean?
They would literally melt down. I mean, there'd be people selling their grannies just to make sure they had it,
Indeed.
And I would like to see a bit more of that sort of stuff. Keep your cards a little closer to your chest. Make sure it's ready to go, and then give a few. And it doesn't, obviously, with the exception of something like Grand Theft Auto, where literally they would sell 200 million copies in a week or something if they released it the next day. But even if you've got like 6 months, I think 6 months is a reasonable amount of time to get excited, get your posters on the sides of buses and things like that, get all that sort of stuff. And it doesn't mean that you can't be preparing the discs and all that sort of stuff in months in advance. And the chances are there will be some leaks, but I don't know. I don't know. It just seems you don't need to over.
I think you hit the nail on the head. Make sure it's ready. Do you know what I mean? 6 months down the line, you've kind of got a rough idea. Now, it could still slip, as we saw with Deathloop. Deathloop slipped really late. You remember that was coming out in May, and I think in what was it, April or something? They announced no, we're going to have to nudge it forward. But I think 6 months is a safe bet. You're kind of knowing your roadmap by then. Your game's practically finished. You're probably in the last stage of testing. So unless something went really wrong, you're going to make that date, and that's it exactly. And it still gives you plenty of time, as you say, to get stuff on buses and all that. But it's still fresh in the mind. You're in that zone of, oh God, I'm only 6 months away. Oh, I'm only 5 months away. You know what I mean? But if it's any longer than that, then you start to forget about it, and you play something else, and you're just waiting, and it's no fun.
Unless it's one of the bigger games, who again I feel don't really need that amount of time anyway of hype, because the hype's already there.
Exactly.
But the danger is if you're a sort of mid-sized game or a reasonably new IP, and you hype yourself too far in advance, then what happens if Rockstar suddenly just go boom, GTA is out in 6 months? Yeah. And you're like, oh well, we're out in 7 months. That's us finished.
Exactly, man.
Because your hype's all gone. Your hype's all gone because folk will have definitely forgotten about you by the time your game comes out because they're too busy on other things. For better or for worse. Yeah, I actually see Original Steven saying that Elden Ring somehow managed both of those tactics about kind of surprising everyone, but at the same time, like hyped beyond everything. And that's an interesting thing. Elden Ring's a funny one, right? So we did see this. People were very excited about it, very hopeful that we're going to see it. We didn't know if they were going to see it, and then it came, the trailer.
Uncle Jeff had a present.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this.
Oh.
I was a wee bit disappointed, and I don't really know why, because here's my caveats to it. First of all, George R. R. Martin's loosely written it. A lot of it's been adapted or added or built on by FromSoft, but he started up a lot of this stuff, right? So I think it'll have quite an interesting story. And FromSoft do make interesting stories anyway, so there's that. You just know that the gameplay is going to be excellent. It's going to be excellent, right? It's got a big open world. It looks beautiful. All these things. It's my sort of thing. It's going to be very difficult. It's my sort of themes. Yep. My one concern was it just looks like more of the same from FromSoft, and I don't know why that annoys me, because that's kind of what they do. But after doing, Sekiro, for instance, and Bloodborne, this just looks a bit more like a sort of Dark Souls thing, and I already feel that Dark Souls 3 absolutely peaked. So I don't know, but the big open world stuff appeals to me. I've had a look at it. I was watching a wee trailer earlier on. There's a lot more to it, and I just know it's going to be excellent. But for whatever reason, I was just kind of expecting it to be radically different, and it doesn't actually look that different. And I don't know why.
Could it be that I thought it was? Could it be that your Souls itch has already been scratched with Demon Souls very recently? So does it feel too fresh to that?
I mean, possibly, but Demon Souls is great. It really is great, but I've been distracted by lots of other games as well, so I'm still making rather slow progress with Demon Souls. Yeah. But yeah, every time I go to scratch that sort of Souls itch, I do a bit more Demon Souls, and I'm like, that's all right. So yeah, I don't know. I'm sure it'll be great. I guarantee you, as we learn a bit more about it, and now coming up to launch, I'll be very excited about it. But I was just a wee bit underwhelmed. But I have to say, the majority of folk I follow on Twitter who are Souls fans are all in on it and are super excited. So they can't have got much wrong with it.
Fair play, man. Fair play.
What about yourself? Anything else that jumped out for you?
I mean, there was bits and pieces. There was nothing else that really made me go, I must have that now. But like things like Forza Horizon 5 kind of pricked my ears. I'm intrigued by it because Horizon 4 was so pretty and it was fun that I'd be keen to play the next one. The Flight Sim coming to consoles, exciting. I mean, it's not. I think because I've been playing it so much, I'm not. Yes, I can finally do it. But what did intrigue me was the Top Gun aspect of it, which just looks hellish fun. Which is essentially.
I don't know much about this. Tell me about this.
It's essentially just they'll probably put a fighter jet into the game as a plane, and this is a free update as far as I'm aware. So it's just an extra plane they'll put in, but. It'll be the same plane that's in the film, and you'll probably be able to land on carriers and things like that. Now, so they might put a few of them in it.
Is this the plane from the original Top Gun, or is this the plane from the new one?
My guess is it's the new one, the Top Gun Maverick.
I had a feeling that might be the case. I haven't checked.
It must be a wee tie-in. I'm not exactly sure when Top Gun comes out. It certainly seems like a summer film, but this is coming in the autumn for us, I believe, the fall. So I don't know if it's quite tying in with the film, but it's linked to the film, if you know what I mean. I'm
not convinced somebody that old would be allowed to be a fighter pilot.
Well, I thought it odd.
Look at bloody cataracts and all that.
I thought it odd. Do you know what I mean? I know he looks 30.
Written away around, they're like, oh, the US military has no more fighter pilots left. We'll have to go and get the grizzled Maverick. And then it'll just be, you just see like a shot of like There'll be this montage of of Maverick just at his local sports club taking every sport far too seriously. Just like out running, out squashing, out fighting, out swimming, everybody just rage all the time, and they're like, "Hey Maverick, you're back in." And that'll be it. That'll be how the film will start. I have not seen the screenplay, by the way. I'm just saying that.
It sounds like it. It sounds like you're right in there. Were you in it?
I'm on pencil, on heavy pencil.
Heavy pencil. But I mean, other than that, I don't think there was. I mean, there's probably things I'm forgetting about, to be honest. But I don't think Sea of Thieves can be topped for it. And I'm not just saying that because we are Sea of Thieves fans, but it had everything about it. It was a big announcement. It was a big thing. It was a big surprise, and it was coming so soon. Yeah. I mean, tick.
The other one I'd say is Breath of the Wild 2 got a trailer. It doesn't give you an awful lot, but it did get a trailer, which opens bizarrely enough with Link falling through the sky like at the start of Fortnite, and I was like, okay, okay, kind of Fortnite Apex Legends style, flying through the air. What we've got is these flying. You're using your glider a lot in this, obviously, and there's these sort of like floating islands, which seem to be the temples or the lands that you explore. It looks lovely. Where did Link's hat go? Where's his hat gone? He doesn't have a hat. All British, no hat.
I'll let your priorities there, man.
I was raging, man. I'm got a bit of something flying about. Yeah, he didn't have a hat. I was raging.
Do you know? I didn't see that at all. I'll need to look that up. No. Something that did catch my eye was the Halo multiplayer stuff.
Yes.
I'm not a huge fan of Halo. I really tried my best to get into Halo 3 when it came out, and I was a bit like, this just isn't for me. But for some reason, the multiplayer featurette they did on Halo really caught my eye, and I was a bit like, ooh, that might be fun.
Well, let's be honest. The Halo multiplayer is the best bit of the Halo games.
And we are the best Halo players,
we are,
if you remember.
Very good at Halo.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Executive producer Hamster Boy got his backside kicked by us in Halo. I'm sure that's how it went. Here's a couple of things, right? Let me lay it down for you, Paul.
Here it comes.
Yeah, it's great that it's free to play. However, in the world of Game Pass, in this Xbox Game Pass, this world of their own making, is the fact that the multiplayer is free a bit of nonsense, really. Because if you have Game Pass Ultimate or I know that it's not free, obviously, we've discussed this with the whole subbies, freebies thing, but you're getting the game day one anyway, and you'll have the multiplayer included. So I'm not convinced that's the big selling point that they say. I suppose if there's people that are not on, but realistically, you know, Xbox are aiming to get as many people as possible onto Game Pass. You just know that they're going to do more and more kind of promotions and options to get onto Game Pass. You know, I think it's already like £1 for like 3 months to get you started. You can upgrade your gold subscription to Game Pass for £1, all that sort of stuff. I'm not convinced that. And listen, there will be players out there who have an Xbox who are not on Game Pass as Halo comes out or the multiplayer comes out. But there won't be that many, I don't think, and I'm not convinced it's that big a deal. I think the bigger deal is the fact that you're going to get it day one on Game Pass.
Yeah,
that's more impressive than the fact that the multiplayer is free to play.
I think it's another lasso into Game Pass is what I think they're doing. So there's folk like you and me who play lots and lots of games, and whether we get through them all or not, it doesn't matter, but we'll play a game for a bit and then we'll move on and we'll try this and something new's out, we'll try this for the podcast and for streaming, and just because that's the type of people we are as well. There are other folks who will play 1 or 2 games and that's it. So there'll be people that will get Call of Duty and FIFA every year, and that's all they'll play every year. I think Halo is your closest you'll get to something on Xbox where people might just buy the 1 or 2 games. If Halo comes out, that's the game I'm getting, kind of thing. So I think what will happen is there'll be a lot of people who will jump onto the free multiplayer for Halo. Give it a go, like it, and say, oh, well, I wouldn't mind playing the single player of this. And rather than buy the game, they're going to Game Pass. And once they're in Game Pass, that's them. As we've all said before, you're in that system and you're in that subscription, and it's like trying to quit the gym. You're just stuck there forever.
I want to quit the gym.
I think that's the purpose of it. Because I'm like you as well. I'm a bit like, well, if you've got Game Pass, it doesn't make a difference anyway. So I think it's another reason to try and lasso people into Game Pass to essentially get them to play the single player of Halo, and then expand from there.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not convinced that Halo has the same appeal that Call of Duty or FIFA has to. There are gamers out there. We know gamers who literally buy 2 games a year, and it's FIFA and it's Call of Duty, and that's basically all they do, and they just play that. I'm not convinced. I think that, we always talk about exclusives for the last 10 years, really, notwithstanding Sea of Thieves and stuff, but historically, the one major exclusive Xbox has ever really had, the major one has been Halo, and the Halo fans are almost, part and parcel. They are synonymous with Xbox fans, really, because that's been the main thing they've always had, whereas Call of Duty fans and FIFA fans are, I think they're quite tribal in the consoles that they stick with, but they aren't necessarily Sony or Xbox fans.
One or the other,
But they're the game fan, but they will generally stick to the platform that they know. And that's where the big sort of deals that say Sony has with Call of Duty or that's where they come in. The big promotions, play it first here, get this many maps early, get early access to this. That's where all that factors in. Because that's like a certain sort of subset of gamers. There's like various ones. There's the ones that go for all the big AAA gamers. There's people who will play everything that Sony does, everything that Xbox does, or whatever. And then there's these people who literally are like, no, these are my games. Don't mess with them too much. Keep them coming out every year. That's what I want. So that's interesting. I don't know. I don't really know where to go with it, but yeah.
Imagine missing the launch of your console. Do you know what I mean? That drives me. I'm not going to dwell on it because I know we're running long. But imagine with your flagship game missing the launch of your console.
Right.
It drives me insane.
Technically, Nintendo did that too.
What with?
Breath of the Wild.
Was that not launch?
That was the game everybody wanted. It didn't come out until the March.
Whoopsie.
And then the Mario game didn't come out. I think I'm right.
But you're talking. You're talking about Nintendo, and Nintendo. I've got loads of exclusive IPs. That, so they're dropping them and all that. Xbox, as you say, is Halo. Do you know what I mean? And they missed the launch of their console. It drives me insane.
It was strange, and I was watching the trailer. And listen, I am going to definitely, when it arrives, day one, I will download it. I will play it. I'll probably stream it to see if I can finally get my hooks into me. They were showing off. I saw a little bit of the E3 thing. They're showing off their Hub World, the biggest one, and all I remember is all the pop-in that I saw in.
Remember the pop? I remember.
And I'm a bit like, I still don't really care.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna stream all the games. Maybe not all the games, but the story. I'm gonna get the story and see if that gets me into the new one. Because as I say, I jumped into 3, and I was a bit like, who are you? What's this? Who are they? So I think if I go back to the start, maybe try and learn the story, that might help.
I have been corrected by Richard and Stephen. Even as I said it, I sort of remembered that Breath of the Wild was a launch game. Mario Odyssey was not.
Illustrating our point, they missed the launch of their console.
I think it was the March time. So the console launched about November time, if I remember, and it was Breath of the Wild was a launch game. But yeah, I would say that that Mario's the more. I remember the N64 launching with Mario 64.
Right.
That you kind of feel like that's how it should go. But I have to say, Breath of the Wild was a sensational one for them to launch with. That is a very good game. But Xbox, yeah.
Anyway, I'm derailing it.
They still don't really have an exclusive Xbox. They're still not a proper. You need this, and you need this on Xbox Series S or Series X. I know you've got the medium, but that's now coming to PlayStation 5. They're still not a proper exclusive on these Xbox consoles. Game Pass is brilliant. There's tons of value there.
I think that's what it is.
You still don't really need them.
I think that they're now not going for their exclusive. They're going for their not method. What's the word? Their frame.
I
know ecosystem. That's it. I think that's what they're flagging. We've not got The Last of Us, but come play with us, and for $1 for 3 months, you can play over 100 games. I think that's maybe what they're doing. I don't know. But yeah, if you were Microsoft, you'd be like, you need to get one thing right. You need to see, when we launch this console, you need to have one thing, and that is Halo. We want Halo out day one with the console. If nothing else happens, you want to have that. That drives me insane.
Now, can I just say, I don't know why I wasn't expecting to set Paolo off like this. The genuine consensus is, though, that Xbox and Bethesda in particular, like the pair of them knocked out of the park this E3. It was very good.
Yeah. I
do think it's a bit easier to knock it out of the park when your major competitor's not there at all. It's a lot harder to compare this than it was in years past, where it was very simple. Who won E3, Sony or Xbox? And this year you're all, well, didn't Xbox do well? Which is kind of interesting, because the last time they didn't really do that well, when they were there on their own, it was a bit underwhelming. They certainly had a lot more to show this time. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good, what I saw of it.
Sorry, I'm derailing you.
Yeah, right, Paolo, what have you got? Right, you said you had something planned.
Right, I'm looking at the time, and I was about to say don't do it, but let's do it, right?
Oh, we're doing it.
We've not had a quiz in ages, right? We've not an actual.
You got it. This better not be an E3 quiz.
And which E3 show was which game is Jeff Keighley talking about here? So we've not that, like, I think Trump or Dump was the last thing we had. We've got Colin Little's beautiful Logger Mog that I ripped off for Trump or Dump. But I thought, we were talking about it as well last week with Gary, about how we hadn't done anything like this in a wee while, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to throw a dead simple one at you. Colin doesn't know anything about this. Now, Colin, I do not want you to be looking at the chat.
Oh, I'm not. Okay, I'll hide the chat.
I will take your honor system that you're not looking at it. You can leave it up. I'll trust you not to be looking at it. But the people in the chat can play along as well, and of course, podcast listeners, you can play along. But we'll go through it fairly quickly, just so it's not dragging on. It's dead simple, Colin. It's dead simple. 10 questions. I'm going to give you 10 games.
Okay.
I just want you to tell me the year they came out.
Oh God.
Simple as that. Simple as that. Let's see. Let me get a nice sweet green colour here so I know that if you've got something right or not. Right. Question number 1. Grand Theft Auto 5. What year did Grand Theft Auto 5 come out?
2013.
2013, you dancer! Right in there! I remember,
because it came out just before the PlayStation 4 launched.
There you go,
I bought it, and a month later, I relegated it as I got my PS4, and then had to go back to it because I had nothing to play on my PS4.
Did I tell you Jabrias finished it? Jabrias finished it this week.
Oh, there we go.
He had it for his Xbox 360, his Xbox One, and then he finished it on his Xbox X, Series X.
Oh my goodness. That's slower than you, mate.
Do you know what I mean? Now we know where I get it.
Right.
Red Dead Redemption.
2010.
2010 is correct, Colin Little. Love it, love it, love it, love it. The first hard one. Portal 2.
Oh, God.
Portal. And which year did Portal 2 come out?
2000. Oh, right, hang on a minute. Let me think about this.
You're only getting one guess. Maybe if we had more time, I'd let you guess again, but no. It is not.
2008.
It's not 1978, Evil Monkey.
2008.
2008, it says. It's 2011, Colin.
Oh my goodness.
2011. Portal 2 it was, by the way. Right, here's one for you. Now,
Okay.
I'm talking about Europe. A Europe release. One of your favourite games.
No.
Super Mario Brothers 3.
Oh.
When did that come out in Europe?
1993.
1993 is incorrect. It's 1991.
91. Damn it.
91. Really hard one for you.
Okay.
Jet Set Willy. When did Jet Set Willy, the sequel to Manic Miner, on your old ZX Spectrum?
I mean, you're talking 82?
82 is a very good guess, Colin. Al Nubis has got it right in the chat. It is 1984.
84.
1984. That was a very good guess, though, son.
I didn't even
You
know
weren't,
Jet Set Willy.
you weren't even born, son.
I wasn't even born.
Another one of your favourites? Duke Nukem 3D.
Right. I think that was 1996.
1996, says Colin Little. It's correct, Colin Little. 1996.
There we go.
Very good.
See, the thing is, a lot of old games, and that's why I'm kicking myself with Mario 3, because generally on the menu screen of the game, the year comes up next to it with the wee sort of like mini credits and all that sort of stuff, like the licenses. And that's why I should have known. I did know it was 1991, because I'm always surprised it's earlier than I thought it was, and then I went 93 and I was wrong. But I do remember 96 for Duke Nukem.
Because it's earlier than you thought it was?
No, actually, Duke Nukem 3D was later than I thought it was. I thought it was an earlier game, but I did remember 96.
For number 7,
okay,
we're on topic. Halo Combat Evolved.
Oh.
Halo Combat Evolved.
So is that the original Halo?
Yes, the very first one.
So that's the original Xbox. So that is...
I don't know if I could have told you this.
I think it's 1998.
1998 is incorrect.
I'm too early.
2001. 2001.
I was too early. That was a stupid answer.
This could trip you up. Number 8 is Detroit Become Human.
Oh, right. So we did a spoiler cast of that on the podcast. What year is it now? It's 2021.
Who's the president?
22 was an absolute write-off. God of War was 2000.
22? It's Colin beat to the future.
Oh, 2020.
Colin let slip.
God of War.
He's a time traveller.
2017.
2017 for Detroit Become Human is incorrect.
Is it 2018?
It is 2018.
Damn it. All I could see was God of War. That year.
God of War shades. Penultimate question. I think this is very difficult. This is very because it's one of these ones that you don't know which is which. Call of Duty Black Ops 2. I think that's the same face I would make.
That is Black Ops 2. That's fairly recently. I would say that is 2017.
2017 is incorrect, Colin. I think you're thinking of the wrong one. I think the 3, Black Ops 3.
Oh, I was thinking of Black Ops 3. God damn it.
It was 2012. 2012. And finally...
Black Ops 2 was quite good.
It was, wasn't it? It was very good.
Aye, damn it.
The final one, number 10. Wii Sports.
Oh, God, Wii Sports.
Wii Sports. How good was Wii Sports, by the way?
That's what I think about this. So, the PlayStation 4 came out in 2013. The Wii sort of happened sort of like midway through the PlayStation 3. So, I would estimate that Wii Sports came out 2008.
Oh, it was 2006.
Ah, do you know what?
2006. 2006. Now, original Steve in the chat jumped in with 2007, then doubted himself, went back to 2006, and I'll tell you why, Stephen. It was because it was December 8th, 2006 is when it came out in Europe.
Everyone got it for Christmas.
Everyone got it for Christmas. Evil Monkey got it. 06.
I did not do very well there.
Out of 10, Colin, you got 3 correct. After such a strong start as well.
I know.
But well done, Colin. Well done.
With that. But I got pretty close in a couple others.
Very good.
Maybe with a wee bit more time, I could have got another couple there. Yeah. It's not my strong suit. The older I get, the less I remember about actual dates.
Aye. That happens is all.
Thanks very much for that, Paolo, for showing me up and how little I know about video games release dates.
Well, do you know what? It's been a wee while. It's been a wee while since we've tested the knowledge. Thought I'd throw that in.
There we are.
A baseball 3 out of 10 gets you a multi-million-dollar contract, says Evil Monkey.
There we are. I will take one of them. Sign me up. That sounds good.
Do you want to know the Game Pass editions, Colin?
Do I?
Yeah, you do. Listen, last time we told you that in 22nd, Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance was coming out in console, PC, and cloud. That's out. And Bry2208 in the community is looking for players. So
yes.
Give him a shout. Give him a shout on Discord.
You want to play some D&D? Play it with Bry in the Discord.
On the 23rd, which was yesterday, a favourite of yours, Colin. Well, we enjoyed it. Worms Rumble is coming. Cloud, console, and PC. On the 24th, which is today, you're getting Iron Harvest on the PC, which might be quite look like giving a wee go. It's based on the board game Scythe. It's from the same kind of
universe. Or?
Aye. It's got that backstory basically. It's not quite a game of the board game, but it's in that lore. You're also getting Proteus, the preview build on PC. And Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered is coming on the console and the PC. Ooh. And that's your Game Pass editions.
Thank you very much. Right, we'll better rattle through these subbies. So,
he called them subbies? He called them subbies?
I ain't got time to argue about this. On the Game Pass, on the Games with Gold Xbox side of
Game Pass?
from the
on the Game Pass?
Have you got the Game Pass? 1st of June to the 30th of June, you're getting the King's Bird. That's a platformer. From the 16th of June to the 30th of June, you're getting Gods Among Us. That's a fighting game. And from the 16th of June to the 15th of July, you're getting Shadows Awakening over at PlayStation Plus. You've not got very long left on these. For PlayStation 5, you're getting the co-op adventure Operation Tango. Also, for PS4, you're getting Virtua Fighter 5, Ultimate Showdown, and Star Wars Squadron, which is PS4 and PSVR. There's potential, I see here, potential leakage that maybe a Plague Tale is coming for July, possibly.
So they say.
Who knows? Right, Paolo, time's already marching on, but we
have
a bunch of games to talk about, a bunch of games, and the main one, which was, we're very lucky, it was gifted to us by Sony. They did supply each of us with a code, but let's be honest, this has happened before. We've been given codes by people and we've hated the games, and we've told them so. We have reviewed games that have been gifted to us and they haven't had very good scores. But we have to let you know that we did get gifted. We did.
TT Racing.
Yes.
TT Racing.
Yep. That Warhammer game wasn't very good either. But you know, as you'd expect with a Sony exclusive, Ratchet and Clank is very good.
Yeah,
it is very, very good. I have to say, I've been absolutely blown away by it. It is possibly the best looking game I have ever played. It is astonishing. The interesting thing is Ratchet and Clank 2016, which this is a sort of sequel to, it's certainly a continuation of the series. I was astonished. I jumped in to have a shot of it on PS Plus when it became a PS Plus game. Had never played any of the Ratchet and Clank games and was utterly charmed, utterly sort of blown away by it. It was just loads and loads of fun. So I was much more excited about this one, Rift Apart, and I have to say, I thought that the older game, the 2016 one, looked like a Pixar movie. This is astonishing. We've I think you're the same as me, Paolo. There's two different video modes. There's the fidelity mode and the performance mode. Performance mode's going to go, it's going to be 60 frames a second. The fidelity mode, however, is capped at 30 frames. But it features ray tracing and various other visual effects. And I have to say, I'm playing it on fidelity mode. I've not really noticed any issues with performance. I don't feel like I'm missing the frames. It's actually the first game for a while that I've sort of played at 30 frames as opposed to 60. But I am loving it, and I would not turn that ray tracing off for anything. It is a stunning game.
It's worth it for the helmet reflections.
Oh, the reflections are astonishing. The reflections of people's eyes, the reflections on eyeballs are astonishing. It's a lot of fun. The story's really great. It does something really interesting, which, you know, the title, Rift Apart. Of course, it's got these fancy dimensional rifts that are jumping you all about. You're moving from planet to planet in an instant, literally going through. This is all due to the PlayStation's SSD, which is able to cope with these monstrously fast load times. And it's got this, this main mechanic of jumping through these dimensional rifts and going from planet to planet, or sort of instance to instance in seconds. But what it also does is storyline-wise, it's also they are apart. They are ripped apart. Ratchet and Clank, actually, you've got them together at the very start, and then for the next chunk of the game, they are in completely separate sides of the galaxy. They're interacting with different people, and it does that sort of thing that I really love with great sort of ensemble pieces, where, you know, something like Brooklyn Nine-Nine or something, where you often have like Jake and Amy or Jake and Charles in scenes, and Hitchcock and Scully. You have these little groups, but then every so often they mix people up and put people together, and it's still as strong. It's still as good. And actually, you sort of like these characters so much you can't really wait to see them interact with one another, as opposed to just this is that bit and then this is that bit. And it's really nice seeing these characters that are well known, especially certain people who have played through these games, interacting with other characters. And also, you're sitting there going, I just can't wait for the inevitable reunion. I'm really looking forward to it. I've been really loving it. And yeah, it's basically everything I hoped it would be, and more so far. What are your thoughts, Paolo?
Yeah, I mean, you've played more of it than I have. I streamed it on the launch day, and got to a point where I then started to fall down that hole of doing things that aren't story related. You know, where you get these it's like wee cups that you start to do. So you wee challenges that you need to repeat and get better at, and get bronze medals and silver medals. And I fell down that hole towards the end of my stream. I thought, whoopsie, I'm away. But it's glorious looking. I mean, the last game, to be fair, was glorious looking.
Yeah.
What got me was the amount of objects on the screen.
Yeah.
It is chaotic at times. I mean, it's mental at times. But sometimes you stop and you look at all the individual pieces on the screen, and it's not an animation. It's not a pre-rendered thing. They are individually moving, and they're reacting to each other, and everything was so alive feeling. And the story's brilliant. The story's funny. It's really heartwarming. It's a really clean, fun game. It's really good.
As you said about that, the amount of things that are happening. The other thing that's really striking is it's not as though, you're like, oh, these are the proper assets up close, and then look at these little spritey things in the background, or everything looks as good as everything else, and you
Yeah.
can tell they've put the same amount of work into. I mean, they probably haven't, but you know, what I mean, it feels like they've put the same amount of work into Ratchet as they've put into this little weird monster that you only find on this one planet.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
all feel as impressive. Um, I mean, I just have to say it's really gorgeous, and the gameplay is excellent. As you said, it is properly heartwarming.
Yeah.
It is funny. It's not so far. It's got a wee bit of a darker tone than 2016. I remember just chuckling the whole way through 2016. Not the year, the game. I can't guarantee the year was that funny, but Ratchet and Clank 2016 was proper laugh out loud. So far, this one's got a darker tone, so it's not always as funny, but it has its moments, and it just comes down to the animation, these little looks, just some of the little looks that characters give to one another.
Hmm.
They maybe don't even say something; they just this sort of like a cocked eyebrow or something, and you literally just burst out laughing. Um, it's just fabulous. It really
Yeah.
really is. This is the thing that um is the one sort of issue that sort of flies in the face of the Sony are going to I tell you Sony are one of these, they're going to need an answer at Game Pass, and you know, if they keep bringing out games that are this good, then they maybe don't, you know.
Hmm.
I'd love it if they did bring out an answer to Game Pass, but these games are selling like hotcakes, and they're so good. They are
But
so good.
you know, it comes back to what I was saying about, you know, I think Xbox are now going, Game Pass is your thing. We've not got exclusives, that we want you to have hundreds of games cheaply.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of fine with that. And I'm fine with PlayStation not having Game Pass and coming out with these big blockbuster AAA, all bells and whistles, Last of Us, Uncharted, Ratchet and Clank games, Ghost of Tsushima, you know, something that's epic and huge. And I'm fine for that to be PlayStation, and I will enjoy that. And then you've also got, if you want to dip your toe into other things as well, you've got Game Pass that you can just
Yep.
rattle through, and it's fine for them to be different things now, I think.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's such a pretty well designed game, Ratchet and Clank. I mean, and I've scratched the surface of it, and I can tell already that it's fun all the way through, and it's so well crafted. You know, like yourself, there was nothing dropping as far as I could see,
Yeah.
and it looked stunning. It was smooth as silk, and everything worked as well. You know, we give games a big bad press for having so many bugs and all that when they come out, and there was not an issue in 4 hours of gameplay with this for me. There was not one issue. Not
Yep.
once did I go, oh, that was odd, or that didn't quite connect or anything. Everything was bang on.
And the other thing, well, a couple of things. First of all, this is far and away. You know, we've also very lucky. I also need to say we also were supplied codes by Sony of Returnal, which is another game we are loving right now. Another fantastic game. It's really great. But this is far and away the most next gen game I've played.
Mm-hmm.
This game feels like this at the moment feels like the game that if your pal came round your house, you know, restrictions allowing and all that, or say your dad comes round and he's like, oh, here you've got the PlayStation 5, what's the difference between that and the PlayStation 4 or the PlayStation 3? This is the game you boot up and go, look at this. You know, there's the adaptive triggers, the haptic feedback. Feel this controller. Just run around in this. Look at this bloody game.
Yeah.
I think it's stunning, and I can't wait to play more of it. And I'm going to stream some more of it at some point as well.
Nice.
It's a fabulous game, and I just want to share more of it.
I just love the fact that we're talking about the big scene, the big picture of having all these things on screen at once and everything reacting to everything, and then you've got the opposite end of the scale, which is the detail in the fur of the characters and things like that. Just the minute things in the game that look so good that you know. Depending on how you play, you might never notice because you're away from your TV or whatever. But you know, my TV's 2 foot away from me, so I see every detail, and that's
beautiful 4K.
Well, that's throttled through 1080 and it still looks really sharp and beautiful. I can't wait to see it in 4K and play it in 4K
So have you
for a
not
bit.
played it at all in 4K?
I've not
Yeah.
played it in 4K yet,
Oh
no.
my goodness.
I
It is
know!
stunning. It is stunning. Yeah, so that's Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. As I said, I would heartily recommend if you're looking for something to show off your PlayStation 5, you're looking for a fun game that literally that feels next gen. That it's not a free upgrade or a sort of bells and whistles sort of like we'll just sort of fancy up this older game. It's just lovely. It's lovely.
Yeah, agreed.
So Paolo, I mean, time's marching on here, but
It is. Fly, boy, fly.
We played some PD2 on
We
the
did.
channel last night. I don't think we need to discuss an awful lot about this, but we did have a lot of fun with it. This is an older game. We know that PD3 is coming at some point. What were your thoughts?
It was fun. You could sense that it was, however long, 10 years or whatever. You could sense it was an older game. But it was fun. I don't think it's the kind of game that I would play on my own. But picking it up with you and Blunder was great fun, and the banter you have with that. I don't know if it's just because I don't know the game that well, but I'd like to understand it a bit more and for it to be a bit more bank heisty, if that makes sense. Maybe with some sort of planning stage and things rather than just gunning in.
You can certainly tell that there's been, this community's been very well supported. There is so much DLC. There's so much stuff that's been added to it over time. We're coming in right at the very end of this game when we played it, and it was a wee bit overwhelming, I think, but I was quite pleasantly surprised by it.
Yeah, no, it was fun. It was very fun.
Right, Paolo, what have you been playing?
Oh, crikey. Well, we're both the same. We're both the same, buddy.
Aye, so you talk about the first one, and then I'll talk about the second one.
That seems fair. So, well, you picked this game up, and I've been kind of humming and hawing about it. I could only see green cheese for so long, and I picked up Chivalry. Yes. Chivalry 2. I desperately tried to get codes for it for us all, and they weren't biting at all, which is fair enough. And I played the beta a couple of weeks ago, and I really enjoyed it. And I was just a bit worried. I thought, is it the kind of game I'll play for a night and then just leave? I just don't know. And then you got it, and I thought, well, if he's got it, then maybe that's something we could do together.
Nice.
You know what I mean? And Racturian had it, and Tommy B was playing it. Scruffy had played it, and I thought, there's so many people in the community playing this that I think this has got a wee bit of legs in it, and that makes me happy. It's bonkers. Absolutely bonkers, and it's hard. It is hard when you first begin. It's one of these ones you're just thrown in, and you just have to grin and bear it for a wee bit till you get good, as they say. But I'm loving it. I find it really satisfying. A really satisfying game to play.
It's gorgeous. I mean, it's brutal and gory, but it's really a beautiful looking game at the same time. We're playing on PS5, and it is, there's ray traced reflections on armor and things like that. It's really fancy. I actually don't find it that hard because you are going to get slaughtered. You are going to die often. But I also think that the interesting thing is with the odd exception, pretty much everybody's as much of a sort of meat bag as each other. You can just slice through people like a knife through hot butter.
It's the overhead. It's the overhead onto somebody's head that gets me every time. You can feel the weight of that.
Yeah.
It's brutal. Yeah. It's brutal.
Unbelievably brutal. It's extremely violent. But it's fun. And there is a roadmap. They are going to be adding more and more DLC and content to it. So I'm quite excited to see where it goes. But yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. And if you're a member of our Discord community and you are playing Chivalry or you're going to play, then, hit us up in the Discord and let us know, because I think we're going to do a Chivalry event at some point when crossplay properly arrives and we can invite people. Because at the moment we're sort of having to almost hotwire it in at the moment by server hopping and all that. It doesn't really work. It
seems to work a lot better if you're on Xbox. So we're both playing on PS5. So if we're streaming it, if you're on Xbox, I think it's fairly easy to get into your game. Tommy B seems to get in within about 5 minutes or something. Poor Racturian was trying from PC, and he spent an hour and a half trying. He did eventually get there, but I don't know what made it happen.
I see you got
and
there
then he
in
won
time
a
to
game.
punch you to death, though.
He won a game. He won a free for all. That's the clip that's on just now. He won that game.
So good.
But yes, he did beat me with his bare fists. Yes.
Yeah. Punch in the groin. I'm sure we're going to talk a lot more about Chivalry in the weeks to come, because it is
Indeed.
going to be here. Anything last to say about it, Paolo?
Just when I come back from holiday, I want to play with people.
Yes. And are you Team Agatha or Team Mason?
I think I'm Mason.
Mason?
I think. I don't know. I like red more than I like blue. So
Reds. Yeah, I don't know. I like the blue and gold the costume of Agatha, but we'll see.
It was Agatha all along.
Right, Paolo, this is the one.
Cool.
This is the one. We were discussing it earlier on. Last night on my own channel, you joined me along with Arcade Glasgow, Andrew from Arcade Glasgow, and Titana, and we played the first two Tall Tales of the brand new free Sea of Thieves update, the Disney Pirates of the Caribbean crossover, A Pirate's Life. And oh my goodness, I bloody loved it.
Wasn't it great?
Loved it. It was absolutely fabulous. So, Paolo, we did discuss earlier on that you had sort of mixed feelings when you first saw it being announced. What are your feelings now?
I think it's exactly what it needed. It's exactly what it needed. I mean, I had it not been Pirates of the Caribbean, I think I'd be all right with that. I don't think it's the Pirates of the Caribbean connection that makes it enjoyable, but the structure of the tall tale is very much needed, I think. And having the thing with the Pirates of the Caribbean is it gives it that shine. It gives it that wee edge to make it even cooler. Yeah. When you see Jack Sparrow, you can't help but go, there he is.
That's a really lovely clip. I think Daybreak made a clip of us all seeing Jack Sparrow for the first time, and Sherry Bobbins was laughing at me because I was like a kid at Christmas. There was a couple of moments in that where I was just loving it. I'm a big fan of the Pirates of the Caribbean series. I had a very special memory of seeing the original film. I went on holiday in Florida many years ago when the film came out. Now, the sort of precursor to that is we went on holiday to France a number of times over the year and went to Disneyland Paris many moons ago, and our favourite ride as a family was Pirates of the Caribbean, even though it was mostly in French and you couldn't understand what anybody was saying, but it was just a fabulous little ride in that.
Probably like real pirates.
Yeah, and we always that was our favourite ride. And sure enough, when we went to America, to the Disney parks, we went on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. But while we were there, the Pirates of the Caribbean movie came out in the cinema in the US. Yeah. And I believe it was coming out in the US a few weeks before it came out in the UK.
Right.
So we went to see it thinking, I wonder what it'll be like. And I was blown away by how good it was. I was like, this is a bloody movie set made on the back of a ride at a theme park. This is going to be bloody stupid. And it was excellent. Excellent. It was also the first time I'd ever experienced going to the cinema and then like squeezing the hot butter on top of your popcorn.
Oh, there you go.
Which was like a come to Jesus moment for me in itself. Till I then many years later went to see another film in another American cinema and did the same thing and utterly sickened myself by too much butter. And now I can't have melted butter on my popcorn. But at that time it was great. Anyway, back to the Tall Tales. I don't want to say much about the stories. I don't want to spoil it for people. I would urge you to play this as fresh as you can. I love the sheen. I think they are really, really great. We played the first two. At the moment, Tall Tale 2, the second one, which you can see some footage of just now, the Sunken Pearl, is a bit buggy. The whole first half of it works really well for us, actually. And then there was just this section, which seems to be the same sort of section, where you're sort of on a ship. That's what I'll tell to kind of point people who know. And that was a bit buggy. But I mean, we near enough had game-breaking bugs, but yet they still didn't fully break the game, and we
battled on, didn't we?
We were able to complete the Tall Tale. I'm so glad we did.
I think lesser determined people might have gave up
Aye.
before we did. Or we didn't give up before we carried on, I should say. But I think the thing we're lucky, I think, because it was still quite fun to play, even though it kind of bugged.
Aye, and
There
we
were
got a lot
still
of
stuff to do, you know. Whereas we weren't like waiting at a door, not being able to get in. We were still able to fight and things. But it was just so much fun. It was fun. That's the thing, and it was. You know, a lot of people complain about Sea of Thieves and that it's, you know, you're just doing the same thing over and over again, and then somebody kills you and takes all your stuff. Whereas this had a kind of epic feel to it. So
it's properly epic.
Do you know what I mean? The Tall Tales are fun, but they're a wee bit like, oh, okay, we'll go and get this, and then that's that, and then we'll go and do that, and that's that. Whereas this felt long and felt meaty and felt like every wee stage had a purpose. It wasn't just a go fetch quest. It was nice. I enjoyed it.
It was absolutely. I really just loved it. I really just loved it. And I've got to say, hats off to Rare. You know, we are big fans of Rare and what they've been doing with Sea of Thieves. I know it's not everybody's quite as taken by the game. Blunder, for instance, isn't as sold on it as us, but Blunder has these moments for the game, and I am going to drag Blunder kicking and screaming to play these because Blunder's going to love these, going to absolutely love these because they have that story, they have that camp. It feels like a proper, I think it's around 8 hours or so. It feels like a proper 8-hour sort of single player campaign on its own, and then you've got the rest of the game on top of all that. This all came as for free. There's a whole bunch of cosmetics and stuff as well. And of course, there's the new season, the new battle pass, the new plunder pass on top of it. But also, you know, they talk about the fact that, and you know, they're saying about how, oh, you know, this is, you know, the whole Jack Sparrow thing. Oh, it's going to bring change to the Sea of Thieves. The Sea of Thieves will never be the same again. And you're a bit like, well, yeah. And then it's like, but it's just a tall tale. It's not. A lot of the features, the enemies that they have introduced, are now in the game. We got attacked at an outpost by some of the enemies in the game. We're like, what's happening? Is there no bloody, you know, is there no decency left in the world? We're being attacked at an outpost. The stuff you think you know about the Sea of Thieves, you know, the Sea of Thieves isn't what you think you know anymore. I'm loving it. I'm genuinely so excited about it. I'm going to play some more on Saturday. I think I'm going to do Tall Tale 3 at least. And I am just so delighted. I'm also very excited about what else they might do with Pirates of the Caribbean. Is this going to be the one and only thing that they do with it? Or is there going to be some more stuff if this proves successful? Because it certainly is proving a big hit with the community so far. And I'm loving it. It felt like a proper event, and so far it has not let me down.
Yeah, I hope they clean up the bugs nice and quick, so that people who are perhaps not as enthused as us don't get put off.
Yeah, Tall Tale 2 is the major one. The major one. They are working on a hotfix for that, and then they're going to adjust other things. You know, Sea of Thieves, like any live service game, can be buggy from time to time, and every time they change something under the hood, it does lead to other bugs. But you know, it will happen. And the thing is, yeah, if you're not too worried about it straight away, you're not bursting at the seams to go and play it, then just give it a week or two. They'll fix it. They'll get it sorted, and then it'll be ready to play. For me, I'm just going to play through it right now, fully aware that there will be some bugs, and then I'm going to play through it again once they fix it. so yeah, blown away by it. Absolutely delighted. Thought it was excellent.
Happy days.
Yeah. Right, we better go on with these viewers' games. The viewers have been in touch. Bry22 on Discord got in touch, saying that the Microsoft showcase was really good, particularly the Top Gun stuff for Flight Sim and the new Forza Horizon game. Meanwhile, I've been playing the Dark Alliance, Beyond Two Souls, and more Forza Horizon 4. Excellent, Bry.
Getting selling the mood.
Daybreak has been in touch, and they said Subnautica, Zoo Tycoon, Dragon Age.
Oh,
that's Daybreak's been playing all of them.
Quite a pick and mix.
Completed Destroy All Humans and Call of the Sea, and loving the new Tall Tales on Sea of Thieves. Ah, yeah, Daybreak. Daybreak actually, as we know, just recently came back after being working at sea for a long time. Came back, picked themselves up a lovely Xbox Series S and is clearly smashing their way through Game Pass.
Aye, they're loving it.
Jamsy42 has been in touch on Twitter, losing all my time in the world to playing Football Manager 2021 on Xbox Series S.
Uh-oh.
Good news, Paul Kaczynski. I've got Partick Thistle in the Premier League.
Happy days, where we belong.
Just goes to show you how unrealistic computer games are. Also, had a good few sessions on the Sea of Thieves. Really enjoying it the more I play. E3 Xbox knocked out the park for me.
Another vote for Xbox, yeah.
Scruffy has been in touch. I've been stuck in the mud with SnowRunner. Oh, what a game. What a game. Chopping off heads in Chivalry 2 and becoming a pirate legend in Sea of Thieves. Yes! Congratulations, Scruffy. I missed that. I'm gutted I missed that.
It kept it very quiet. I managed to sail with Scruffy, Random and Idlebird for a wee night, and they very casually went, yeah, I got Pirate Legend last night, so that's good.
Unbelievable.
Cheeky Charlie.
Unbelievable, Scruff. I was screaming it to everybody. I was like screaming it to my neighbours on the street and all that, and they're all like, what? I was like, I'm Pirate Legend! But that was like October, you know, it was more of a big deal then. It
was harder. It was harder then, wasn't it?
Years then. As opposed to now, it's been out for like 3 years.
Listen, Colin, also, you were Pirate Legend way before you started playing Sea of Thieves, mate.
Yeah, I know what I mean. Scruffy says E3 was great. Halo Infinite, Forza Horizon 5, and Flight Sim all have me hyped.
Woo!
There we are. So that is, of course, how the viewers/listeners have been in touch. If you would like to get in touch, here's how you do it.
We'd love to hear from you. Find us on Facebook as The Nearly Men, Twitter and Instagram, where we are at Nearly Men, or email info@thenearlymen.com.
And there we go. So I was
you've got the fear about that one, don't you?
There was a big delay there. There was a big gap. I was like, I see it. I just started making sounds. We've got some new releases. I'm Ron Burgundy. Legend of Mana is out on the 24th. That's today. That's today as we're recording. Legend of Mana is out on the PC, the PS4, and the Switch. Also today, Roguebook comes out on the PC. Tomorrow, that's the 25th of June, we've got Scarlet Nexus. That's coming to PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox, and Xbox systems. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 is coming to the Switch. I've heard it's actually a very good port. That's out tomorrow. That's super exciting. What a classic couple of games. Super Squad is coming to PC. That's also on the 25th of June. And Mario Golf Super Rush is coming to the Switch on the 25th of June. I know Paolo's excited about that one. Solaris Off Homeworld Combat is coming to PSVR. That's on the 26th. So that's a strange one. Is that a Saturday? It's coming out on a Saturday. Strange. Anyway, that's that. On the 29th, you've got Sky, Children of the Light. That's coming to the Switch. 30th of June, you've got Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. Sorry, that's coming to PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and the Switch. That's everything basically that's coming to. Mask Maker is coming to PSVR on the 2nd of July. We've also got Ender Lilies Quietus of the Nights is coming to PS4 and PS5. That's on the 6th of July. And it's on somebody's birthday. The Black Skylands is coming. The PC on the 9th of July. And indeed also on the 9th of July, we have Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin for the PC and the Switch. So there you go. That's your new releases. Beautiful. Do we have some questions from the chat?
Well, there was some chat in the chat. A couple of ones I picked out. Subtle was there. Was saying, I always mean to watch the gaming events, but I don't have the attention span. I'd be interested in 90%. I wouldn't be interested in 90% of the games featured, and I can't wait around to see a trailer for the one I might like. I know what you mean. It's a lot of time, because, E3, there's like a show every day, at least one show, and it's,
like a whole weekend, isn't it?
3 hours long. Have you got that kind of time? Tommy B popped in. I don't know if you saw it, Colin. Tommy B popped in just to say, hello, chums, I can't stay, but he just wanted to make you really jealous and let you know that you sat outside a fancy restaurant having a vegan doner. That doesn't sound nice at all.
I mean, I've got nothing against vegan food. I've got nothing against vegans. I just don't know if I'd want a vegan doner.
It
I
seems
like I like
aye,
doner kebab, but I think if you're going doner kebab, you just have to go mental. I
kind of
just
defeats
feel
the point, doesn't it?
a wee bit. Aye.
Still, nice
But
of you
you
to
know,
pop in, Tommy.
aye.
And Al Nubist felt very proud at getting the year for Jet Set Willie so quickly. He did. He got it. I mean, I asked it and he said it immediately. Bang on, 1984.
There we go. You're proud and you're old, Alnubist. It's just both. It's just both.
But that was it. That was the picks of the chat there.
There we are. Well, listen, this is a bit of a bumper episode. I suppose there was always the danger when Blunder wasn't here to give us the
Teach
stink
isn't here.
eye. When Teacher wasn't here to give us the stink eye when we started wittering on about too many things about games that Blunder's not interested in. So yeah, a little bit more than usual, but we've got some stuff coming up next week. Next week, it's one in, one out. Mr. Kaczynski's going to be away for a bit, getting a well-earned rest. Blunder and I will be here. I don't know exactly what we'll be doing yet, but I've got an idea. All going to plan. We'll be announcing that soon. What Blunder and I will be playing. Paolo, you're taking some time off streaming. You're going to be away for a wee bit.
I'm away. I'm back on the 11th of July for the Sunday Social as my next stream.
The 11th. Nice one. We'll try and keep Twitch warm for you.
Keep it warm, aye. Keep it warm.
In the meantime,
I'll be popping in and saying hello. I'm not disappearing. You'll not get rid of me that easily.
And he's no dying or nothing. He's no deed. He's just...
No yet. How bad will you feel now if I die in the next couple of weeks?
Well,
this clip will get played in the news and all that.
Do you know the most alarming? Do you know the terrible thing is? The first thing I thought was, how will I be able to log into Nearly Men Twitch if he's deep?
Blunderboy knows what he's doing. Don't worry.
Where will I get my Authy code from?
Oh, the Authy. Oh God, aye. That goes with me to the grave.
I'll be it. Oh no, this is finished. But apart from that, I'd miss you.
Good. I'm glad.
Yes, I am going to be back. I suppose I better say actually. Right, so Blunder's on the Randan tonight, right? For anyone who doesn't know what that means, he's having a wee night out, a few sherbets, and I mean, I don't know for definite.
If anybody needs to know what that means, I'm going to tell you in another different way that you might not know what it means.
Exactly. Listen, if you don't understand, you don't understand. But I would literally wager dollars to donuts that he will not be streaming tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, not a chance. Not a chance.
I think
he'll be joining me in the grave.
On the cusp of death tomorrow, probably. So there won't be a Blunder stream tomorrow. I will not be streaming tomorrow. Tomorrow's my last day of sort of my regular sort of working thing at the moment. So I will not be on tomorrow. But I am going to be on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. because Sea of Thieves drops are live for all streamers. A lot of the Sea of Thieves partners, normally the drops are kept for the partners. A lot of the partners are stepping back, are streaming something else for the day to let all the folk that want to get drops to get them off of regular folks, just the normal folks. So if you want to get your drops, come along to Captain Shambles stream, and I'm actually starting at 9 a.m. because that's the very end of the Friday drops and the very start of the Saturday drops. So actually, hopefully you'll be able to get both in the one stream if you're in nice and sharp.
Happy days.
So I'm hoping for that. That'll be fun. I'm really excited. I do hope that Rare do a little bit more of this and maybe do open it up to either just letting, you know, they probably won't just let everybody get drops all the time, but I wonder if they might let the creator crew do it, or maybe, you know, you can maybe apply to get drops every so often, and maybe sometimes you'll get them, sometimes you won't. And of course there'll be ones just for partners as well. But I just think it's a really cool thing. Another way that I think that Rare are really leading the way with embracing streaming of their games.
Yeah.
Certain devs don't seem to be embracing it quite the way that Rare do, and yeah, I'm just loving it. So it would be my honour to supply some of you folks out there with some drops. So if you want to get your Sea of Thieves drops, I'll be letting you know how to do it. You basically have to go to the Sea of Thieves website. You will find it on there. Just type in Sea of Thieves Twitch drops. It'll take you to the page. You link your Sea of Thieves account to your Twitch account and make sure you've got drops enabled in your Twitch settings, and that's all you need to do. And then you just watch for 20 minutes and you'll get your drops.
Happy days.
Yeah. I think that's everything, Paolo. Have you got anything left to say?
Just look after yourselves. Look after
Yep.
Colin while I'm gone. He's,
Aye.
he gives the impression that he's the big I am, but he's actually just a wee boy. So please look after him while I'm gone.
Yes, that is very true. Please do. Please come and keep an eye on me, everybody.
Give him cuddles.
Paolo, I hope you have a wonderful time away. It's hugely deserved. I hope you come back refreshed. And
I will.
I will harass you every single day on WhatsApp.
I would expect
and
nothing less.
Discord and Twitter
Oh, okay.
and Facebook.
Up in the game, I see.
Just text messages and everything.
Good.
I'll send you
Good.
Xbox messages. I'll send you PlayStation messages.
Right.
I'll see if I can borrow a Switch and send you Switch messages.
Good, okay.
I'll send you some stuff on Steam. I'll do all that.
Sure.
Just like this, Paolo. Think of how many Windows updates you're going to have to install when you get back.
Oh my god, Windows 11 might be out by the time I'm back. Oh god.
That's it. Anyway, listen, thank you so much to all you lovely folks out there for listening. Thank you to all our lovely, our live audience here on Twitch. And thank you to yourself. Good luck to Blunderboy with a hangover. I don't know why I'm saying that. Blunderboy's definitely not going to listen to this.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
But we hope that Blunder enjoys himself and is a well-earned rest after working very hard throughout the year. We'll be back next week, myself and Blunder, on the 5th. No, that's not the 15th of June. 15th
That's
of
the
July,
next episode.
It's not June though, mate. It's not June.
Oh, I'm
June's
sorry,
now.
Ron.
The next episode 91, is on the 15th of July. Can you
I think there's
believe
a big question mark on it. I don't know if you didn't read the question mark today.
There's actually 4 question marks. How did I read that out? 4 question marks.
I think it's the 15th of July.
I love the fact that you put the question marks next to it as though those question marks are sort of there like, oh my god, how can it be June? Oh, I can't believe it's going to be the 15th of June in 2 weeks' time. And then you're like, no, mate, it's going to be the 15th of July. It's even worse.
No, it's because we hadn't confirmed that's when the next episode was. Jeez Louise.
Yes, that's when the next episode of the podcast will be. So episode 91 will be on the 15th of July. Blunder and I will be back next week, and we'll keep you updated. Apart from that, folks, I will see you all. Those of you who are up bright and early, I'll see you on Saturday at 9 AM on twitch.tv/ColinNM. Kaczynski, have a wonderful holiday, and folks, we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for listening.
Bye.
Bye-bye.